Holy heck. Without further ado, tiptoeing around. I'm on borrowed time, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Echo off. Great stuff. Let's see if this works. Hi and welcome to Breaditation. This is going to be a super short expedition around the kitchen. Show you the mess and the melee that we're going to be tackling. And I've just got a question to ask you before we get stuck in, which is, which piece of office equipment has the greatest unearned confidence? Think about it. Is it the stapler? We all remember Gareth in The Office. Or is it the lowly photocopier? What has the husper and the drive but doesn't deserve to be in the office, let alone have that braggadocio that no office equipment deserves to have? Right, okay, so just to show you what we've been up to, we've completed the Tang Zoo, which is the Wateroo. Hi, by the way, and welcome to Joyfully Dull. So we've got the, I'm just going to be cutting the dates as well. I like to get this out of the way. While we're doing that, and while you're thinking about the office hardware and the choice equipment, by the way, terrible knife skills today. No apologies for that. All of the apologies for that. Now we've been thinking about the unnecessarily confident office equipment. What sound would you want to ban from the universe? Think about all the sounds that you hate, whether it's the grating noise of the wheelie bin being dragged down the drive, or is there something else that really grates your gears? And if you think about it, and I'm just being dull and dry here because I'm just going through the important, would you like a date? Are you ready for a date? Who's ready for a date? Let's think of something else. So I am going to say my least favourite noises are the sound of Lidl shutting at night, because it means that I can't get any more milk. And there's nothing worse than running out of milk at 9 p.m. These are the German standard opening hours. And the weirdest thing about here, and you know, I am living up to the mantra of joyfully dull today. The weirdest thing about Germany that most people don't know about, because it's quite a God-fearing country, is that they don't have their shops open on Sundays. Now, if you are fortunate enough to live relatively near to Berlin, you will have the good fortune to have the Spätkauf. And the Spätkauf, a little bit of a German lesson for you here. So we're going exotic from Morocco to Germany, because Morocco is typically where they produce dates, isn't it? I wish I'd have stuck with the Trader Joe's versions, because they are de-seeded or de-stoned or hulled. We are going down many different rabbit holes today of a vocabulary bent. So spät means later. Später means later, of course. Spät means late. Kauf is a shop, or kaufen is to buy, so buy later. And typically with these ASMR fans, typically with these Spätkauf, they could be open 24 hours a day. You find people languishing outside on benches, drinking beer furiously at 9 a.m. in the morning and 9 p.m. at night. Because just the same as anywhere else in the world of international, Germany has 24 hours in the day. Right, so why are we in a sort of a rush-like situation? Well, I'll tell you exactly why. I have a sleeping baby in the next room, and my fabulous wife is coming home from Gaga right now, which means that we are home alone in a Macaulay Culkin sense. Don't have any robbers, but what is exciting is that we finally have spring on our hands. I can't tell you how excited I am to finally, like a puppy, I can't tell you how excited I am that tomorrow I could walk out without a jacket on. Just moved my Pilates ring there. Right, so what have I got so far? Around about 10 grams each of fresh yeast. Now, fresh yeast is around about 15 cents for a block of, I don't know, 60 grams, say. It might be 50, I'm not entirely sure. Let's go with 50, sounds about right. So I've got 10 grams in each bowl of fresh yeast, and I've got around about 15 to 20 grams of sugar because I like a sweet bread in the morning. And these loaves will just go straight away into toast first thing in the morning. Now, we do deviate a little bit at lunchtime. There might be a little bit more bread in the diet. We might have cheese on toast. But I have to say, dates and cheese go in a sublime way. They really do. So this one is going to be the white loaf. So I'm going to go in with, I've got the Tangzu, which has got 150 ml of water in, but somehow, mysteriously, when you combine it with flour, it seems to soak all of the juices out and just become this sort of amorphous glob. But I still need to bear that in mind. So I would typically go with about 330, so it's 500 grams of flour, not counting the 30 grams of the Tangzu. So I typically go for like a, I don't know, like a 60% hydration, maybe 65%. I like the bubbles. I like to eat my toast and think that I'm eating a Breadiero bar. So I think for this one, I'm going to go in with about 280. Just the sounds. That wasn't bad. I'm quite pleased with myself. 276. Just going to give that a quick, cheeky little stir just to cut through the yeast. Now, honestly, guys, it doesn't matter. I say guys. It's the last time I'm going to say guys on Joyfully Dull. I'm not American, not on Instagram. Ooh. Doesn't it set your teeth on edge? Metal on metal. Now, yes, purists would say, oh, break that yeast up, but I'm not a purist. So this is going to be the Biodinkelmehl Vollkorn. So properly wholemeal. So I'm going to go 370. Even that's not enough. But it'll do for now. Plenty more needed here. I can only go with the size of the glass. Right, where are we? 363. You know what? Do you know what? I can work with that. That's okay. So I'll get this working now. Just start to let the yeast start to bubble and froth. Sounds like a witch's cauldron, doesn't it? Or something out of the sequel to Frozen. It's not the same as the sequel to the Titanic. Aha, aha, aha. Right, okay, so I'm just going to go and get my flour now. I'm going to, what do they call that? Tar. Is it tar? I think it's tar, T-A-R, which is, no, I think that's when you bear the last ingredient mass into account. Whereas just zero in that, aren't I? Right, so I want 500, well, thereabouts, because obviously I've got the Tangzy. So I'm going to go in with about 500-ish. Beautiful. I was going to start making the pizza dough, and if I get a chance before the baby starts wailing, then do you know what? I flipping will. Do you know what? That'll do. That'll do. That'll do. And I just need to get my salt out. I generally go with about 10 grams of salt. Oh. Great. So, looking around, I'm looking at my toaster, I'm looking at my kettle, and I'm looking at the grater, and I'm thinking, which one of these things would I most be frustrated if I was forced into a conversation with? I know, I find the kettle very bubbly, the toaster is always very warm, and I always have a great time. But if you've got a favourite kitchen appliance that you sometimes like to talk to, why not drop it in the chat? Now, rules of the road. exclamation mark, ask, space, question comes to me directly, and then we can have a little bit of a chat about it. So if you do want to interact with the show, that's fine with me. Just go for it. Why not? That's what we're here for. So my flower. Now, what's Joyfully Dull all about? Well, if you weren't here yesterday to discover the jewels of the show, the jewels of joy, that's what happens, isn't it, sometimes when you keep on chattering on. Alan Bennett's monologues, eat your heart out. Let's just get this done first. So, that's nice. I don't like a wholemeal loaf without any kind of lightness to it. So this is a good mix, although 178 is over a third of the loaf, so that is going to be quite a hydrated dough, because white flour uses a lot less water. Well, what about a quarter? This goes all the way to 500. Keep it coming. This is not how you make great radio, is it? How are you getting on with your... That'll do, 502. I could probably put a bit more in there, but you know what, for now? So what do you think? Kitchen appliances. Which one could you do without? Which one, if you were stuck in the kitchen at a party and you were like, oh, do you know what? I could do with being anywhere but here. Who was it the other day I was thinking? Guy Fieri. Let's get this started. Guy Fieri was on the Joe Rogan show. Oh my God, did that guy go on? He seemed quite needy. Now, I don't know whether it was just a very smart or nasty edit by the JRE, Joe Rogan team, but they made Fieri look like a right plank. As though he just really wanted to stay on the show, and he wanted to go to the loo, and Joe said, go for a wee. In fact, we might as well finish here. And then Fieri is edited in to say, no way, man, I'm loving it. I don't want to go anywhere. And Joe's like, well, I've got other things to do, mate, which is most uncouth and uncharacteristic of an empathetic host. So it's about this time, as we're starting to combine all the ingredients, that I'll chuck in some of the nicer ingredients, the sweeter ingredients. I've got some cashew nuts, which I quite like. I have got some apples. Let's just do some sort of, just do some gentle chopping of the dates. What we don't want is whole dates. Otherwise, your loaf just turns out to be a big edible version of Tinder. All those dates. Do you know what? I'm not in any particular bother here. What are we doing for time? 13 minutes until the missus turns up and tells me off for child neglect. Right, I'm going to throw some of that in there. Not too much. She's not a massive fan. And I'm going to just going to do a few cashew nuts. Get that out, get off. A few cashew nuts. Not forgetting the linseed. Nice. And a few regular nuts. They could just go straight in, can't they? I'm actually in two minds now whether to go in at all with the... I'm going to stop saying guys and go in with, because I don't work at McDonald's. Incidentally, if you saw the film called The Founder, about Ray Kroc, played by Michael Keaton. It really is incredible how the hamburger making machine came about by the McDonald brothers. These are the guys that invented it, and an ice cream machine. Something that he took out of the back of his car. And I think it was one of these like rotating ice cream making machines. But then they also made this really incredible hamburger machine as well. Or did they? Or was the hamburgers all handmade? Anyway, it's a tremendous film. I strongly recommend it. It feels like it should be a documentary, but it isn't. And I think this is about the right consistency. After I said that I thought that I might have a bit too much water in, this is good enough. You can see now, and I'm just using a spoon. I'm not messing about, just using a spoon, because I've got a lot of other things to do today. I want to, like I say, I want to make the pizza dough, and I've also got some overnight baked oats that I want to make, and probably a Spanish omelette. I'm leaving this a bit late in the day, but do you know what? Seat your pants. I'm like the Rob Beckett of the kitchen world. I really am. Now, this isn't bad. This is not bad. This is not bad. I'm quite happy with that. It's sticky, which is good. I don't want it dry. If it's dry, it will rise nicely, but I'm just going to leave it in that state for now. I'm just going to bring this back in. I have a bench scraper somewhere, which is not in there, which means it's over here. That thing, the orange thing that looks like a gun, by the way, isn't it? It's a temperature tester. Ideal for babies' baths and also serving up a la carte warmed breast milk. Right, I've got another question for you. And it's all about being at the supermarket. One of my favourite places on earth, apart from with my beautiful family, or dreaming. I do dream about the supermarket a lot. So what's your least favourite thing to pack at the supermarket? If you think about I'm closing my eyes now. You wouldn't know because you can't see them. I'm thinking about standing at before I used to use the self-serve checkouts, which I have to say, I am a disciple of. You will not find me these days. Let's chuck a little bit. Well, no, I'm going to throw this Tangzu in for a bit of a lay of the land. I was standing at the end of the checkout in Aldi, and you know what? It's impossible not to be flustered, isn't it? Because there's always a queue. Right, I have my bell. My baby is starting to cry, which means if I've just got enough time. Yeah, sometimes she cries mid-sleep and goes back to that bed again. But I think this is her announcement to the world that I'm here, which means quiet again. So stood at the end of the checkout at Aldi, sweating, you know, because there's people behind, there's a queue. Doesn't matter how many times they open up a till, it's never enough, is it? There's never enough. Lidl's great because Lidl, for some reason, seems to trust their people more, which is why they have these self-service checkouts. But a few more nuts. Perfect. And some linseed. This is going to be an all right loaf. Now, what I am going to do, don't tell anybody, I've not yet finished. There's a flourish here. And you'll have noticed that there's some apples going on here. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to peel them first. That's what I'm going to do. The baby seems to have gone quiet again, which is miraculous. Quiet until Mum turns up. I've got the worst peeler in the world, haven't I? You know what I mean? Going on YouTube with a peeler of this quality. Well, it's choice. Just like my language about getting this done quick. Things that I hate to pack. I mean, it's the soft stuff, isn't it? Where'd you put the kitchen towels? Where'd you put the toilet rolls? I'm baffled. I'm absolutely baffled. It never made sense to me. So I'm going to cut these into 4. I actually need a bit of cinnamon as well, don't I? Let's get that now before I forget, because I typically do. I feel like this should have some vanilla essence in it as well, but it's not gonna. Not gonna. Not today, Josephine. Yeah, so it's the soft stuff, all fish or anything questionable that incites the judgment of your fellow rat packers at the German budget supermarket. this is going to be nice. I'm going to get the zimt. But I'm trying not to think about that because this is flipping lethal. It could take your fingers off. It reminds me of first time I bought a mandolin and I didn't get a guard. Why would you do that? And do you know what? I'm going to do the lot. I'm going to do the lot. I'm going to say you forced me. You coerced me into putting a whole apple into this loaf. It's the best thing about baking loaves is you can just play with it, can't you? Play with it. I play with it so much. I'm talking about the loaf now. I'm going to just put a little bit of pepper in. I am. Just a twist, just a hint. Not a smorgasbord. Right, okay. Because you can't really have apple in anything without cinnamon, can you? To give it that McDonald's apple pie taste. Right, I recognise I've put all this in the wrong order. But the good thing is, contrary to what James Martin or Gordon would tell you, or Jamie, yeast is generally pretty forgiving, you know. It really is. It's really forgiving. And, you know, I wouldn't like make these loaves. I wouldn't put them together over the space of hours in terms of, you know, pulling the ingredients together. But you can certainly take your time. And that is the mission statement for Joyfully Dove. It's just take your time. You come in here to this live stream right now. Just have fun, have a chat with mates. And like I say, exclamation mark ask. I wish there was a shorthand for exclamation mark. If you can think of one, put exclamation mark ask and then space and tell me what the shorthand is for exclamation mark. And I promise you, I'll share it with my fiends and friends. Ladles and gentle spoons, as Tim Ferriss would say. So this is, do you know what? I was going to throw caution to the wind earlier. I was going to put a bit more water in here. And I'm sure as shit glad that I didn't bother with that. Now, I also use one of these because this is a great way to scrape the bowl. Not advisable when you're in the toilet, but great with mixing bowls. Oh, for goodness sake, I'm such a messy cook. You know, you got like MasterChef or Great British Bake Off and Hollywood or shamed market trader Greg Wallace go around and they're like, well, he wouldn't now, would he? Oh, you've got a messy bench. I'm like, oh yeah. Do you want to have a go at this? Love to see you do a better job and keep it sparkling. What is terrible actually is that I had a proper clean down yesterday and now it just looks like a bomb site. Anyway, all good. So I'm gonna leave this as it is. I'm content with it. And you're thinking it's a mess. When you make loaves, they always say, oh, make a perfect little ball in the middle. I like to do the slap and fold technique, which means over the course of the next 2 hours now, I'll just come back every half an hour and just give it a really nice tug. 8 times, 8 folds. Same with the brown one. By the time I've gone round like 3 times, we're really starting to, that gluten is really starting to strengthen like a big weightlifter. Because for now, that's all right. That's all right. They're both looking all right. Screw that back in. Don't know what silicon does to your guts. Last thing I'll say before I go, because as I say, I'm not going to get round to the making the pizza dough with you tonight. Humbly apologise, but we can do that again sometime, because how I tend to do this is I don't like to have the oven empty. I think it's inefficient. So I like to bake things, like I say, so I'll be baking a Spanish omelette and an overnight oats with the loaves. And then while there is still residual heat in the oven, we'll be making pizzas. and hence why I have like a plan. I'm just going to try 25 minutes, and I'll come back and give them a bit of slap and tickle. But before you go, my last question for you is, I like to say, and this is a shameless plug for simplicity. Typically, and from next week it will all be outside, but these are the beanbags where this is the simplicity set. My last question for you before I go is, what's the optimal temperature of a cup of tea? But I don't want a temperature. I want a feeling, like smouldering. It's always a good one, isn't it? Right, okay, well, thank you for joining me today. I hope you've had a lovely time hanging out on the world's first Breaditation. Next time should be a little bit more relaxed. But in the meantime, thanks ever so much. Oh, it'd be nice to finish there, wouldn't it, like that? Thanks for joining me, and